Today we're going to be reviewing Math 9 3.3 from the Math Pearson textbook, which is subtracting rational numbers. So last class we did review adding rational numbers, and subtracting rational numbers is almost exactly the same. So subtracting fractions has the same steps as adding. You are always still finding a common denominator, then you're still subtracting the numerators after you've done that. When you are converting mixed fractions to improper fractions, then please attach the negative after you have done the math, right? So you're not using it when you're multiplying and then adding, it's being attached at the end. Now the stuff that we haven't reviewed yet that is important to review a little bit for you all is more the part that comes with subtracting rational numbers. So it's your integer rules. When we have two negatives directly next to each other, we change them into positives. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys remember why. This is going way back a couple of years ago. With the example here, if I have negative 3.3 and I'm subtracting negative 5.1, it's actually becoming negative 3.3 plus positive 5.1. Okay, so when we are subtracting things, it normally means that we're like switching directions. We're going the opposite of where we were going before. So if I have like two negatives next to each other, it's like I'm turning around. It would be a lot easier if you guys could physically see me as I'm describing this. And hopefully you just remember it based on that. But always know that if ever you have two negatives next to each other like this, you always switch them so that they're both positives. Okay? You change the sign in the middle and the one that follows. Okay? So if it was negative 3.3 and I was subtracting positive 5.1, okay? And these brackets are there just to group things together. They're not needed. You don't have to put them, but you can if it makes it easier for you. You are always still going to be changing the symbol in the middle and the one that follows to its opposite. Okay, so that is the integer rule you need to remember. You do have the use of your calculators to help you out as you are doing things if you struggle with seeing which direction it should be going. But you should always be automatically changing these things when you are beginning to work. So I have in bold at the bottom, please remember to pay attention to the signs in front of the numbers. Use a number line to help guide you if you need. Okay, so if I were to actually solve the one that was here for you, this example question, negative 3.3 minus negative 5.1 becomes negative 3.3 plus positive 5.1, which means that from negative 3.3, I'm actually going up. I'm getting warmer. I'm actually going to end up in a positive. So in actuality, to solve it, you would just be saying 5.1 minus 3.3. And you would do the math that way to get 1.8. Okay? If we did this other example that I had put up here for you, I believe I said, sorry, all my scratches here, that I had negative 3.3 and we were subtracting positive 5.1. So in order to solve that, we are switching the sign in the middle and the one that follows to be its opposite. So I'm actually saying negative 3.3 plus negative 5.1. Both of those, or two negatives together, is just making a larger negative. I'm still just dropping. So to solve it, you would just be saying 5.1 plus 3.3, which gives you 8.4. And I know that my answer is actually negative 8.4 because I was just adding two negatives together. Okay, so please try to remember your addition and subtraction for integers. They are different rules in multiplying and dividing. Two negatives do not make a positive when we are adding them together. So pay attention to the signs as you are working today. That's really the only thing that's new for 3.2. All the other steps are things that we have been reviewing so far. Take your time as you are working. Once again, some of the questions have multiple A, B, C, D, E, F, Gs. If you really understand what the question is asking, skip down to E and G, those kind of questions, and make sure you understand how to apply the knowledge to complete those questions. If you have any questions, please make sure that you're sending me a message or an email, and I look forward to seeing you in class.